in one environment to another environment, whatever the data factory pipelines you have created. So I told you, right, we are following a 2 weeks of the sprint. For every 2 weeks, we are going to conduct one sprint. And in that sprint, generally, when you are developing something, okay, so whatever we have developed, sorry, whatever the things we have developed, the entire only the particular part of development you need to deploy into the next environment, because I have already data factory pipelines. Every time if you are doing 100 data factory pipeline deployment, it's not good actually. Whatever the changes, whatever the changes you have done, only those changes you need to be replicate into your next environment. That is called CI/CD. Whatever the method we are following to deploy into different environments, CI/CD deployment. CI/CD stands for continuous integration, continuous delivery. Okay, whatever the changes you are doing, those things we are going to deliver into the different environments. Whatever the content you are developing here, in general, we are not going to save inside the data factory live. What I'm going to do, I'm going to save inside I'm going to save inside Azure DevOps Git repository. What exactly Azure DevOps? Azure DevOps is like an environment where you can manage your project, you can save your code, and you can manage your Git repository as well. What exactly Git repository? A Git repository is something like you can able to store your content, project code, and it will maintain the versions and who are all doing the changes, because there are 10 people are working in your project. Whatever the 10 people they are working, so how you know where you are working, what you are working, how can we track that one? So every time when you are doing something, when you are developing, for example, there are 10 developers. In these 2 weeks I have given 10 tasks, each one task. Okay, when you are going to develop, so how can you do this one? The same data factory project, whatever I have, you will take and you will take, you will take, you will take, everyone will take and working on each together. At the end, there should be one data factory project only, right? How can you combine these all these things? If I'm taking yours, then what about you? How can you combine all these into one place? There is a problem, right? So that is the reason when you are working on this project, we are going to create a branches means like your work area. Okay, so for every user story task, we will create one branch. So you are developing on one task, you have to create one branch. Similarly, 10 branches we will create. Whatever the work we have done your branches, finally we are going to merge all these into final branch, that is master branch. Okay, so how to create these branches inside the Git repository, and that Git repository is inside the DevOps. First you need to set up a DevOps account. So let me try to set up a DevOps account over here. Simply, how can you open a DevOps account is dev.azure.com. Okay, dev.azure.com. Simply go over here. Start free with GitHub. Okay, so it will create automatically GitHub also. So let me try to later also you can create inside. So let me try to create start with free with GitHub. So to create this GitHub and all those things, only this on Microsoft email only will support. Gmails, Outlook mails will not support here. I mean to deployment process. Click continue. Okay, so it's going to create the DevOps. YVKSV. Click continue. One second. Okay, so inside this DevOps, you need to create one project actually. The project name I'm going to give it as a classes open project. Okay, and you need to make it public. But if you want to make it public, then you have to change the organization policies. Go to the organization policies. Allow public projects. Okay, save it. Now you can go to the projects. Try to create a new project. E classes open project. Description, make it public, create it. Done. A project has created. Okay, so simply go inside this project. Okay, see here. In general, in the real-time scenarios, what will happen? There is a boards, right? Under the boards, they will create a items, work items. Okay, new work item, epic issues, tasks. So the work what they are giving, there are different kind of pronunciations: task, epic, issue. Sometimes there in a production there is some issues, so that will create like a issue. Task means you need to perform something. Similarly epic also. So when they're creating a task over here, what exactly the description of the, I mean, title of the task, description of the task, and to whom it needs to be assigned. Okay, aerial iteration, and yeah, so their email address. For example, if I'm trying to assign this to you, I will enter your email address here. So you can log into this Azure DevOps, and under the work items, what are all the items has assigned on your name, you need to see, and you need to work on that. Okay, either you can use this Azure DevOps boards or Jira tool. There is another tool, Jira tool also there. Sometimes we can use the Jira tool also. And so you need to change the status. Currently it is one. Initially when they're assigning a task on your name, what the status you have to do is to do. Okay, then once let me give develop a pipeline to for the data. Okay, save it. Okay, so initially when I'm assigning this task on your name, I will put the status as a to do. What is the meaning? You have to do this work. Then after, once this task is assigned on your name, you need to change the status. What status you need to keep? Yes, I am doing on this one. Otherwise, how can I know what are all the tasks are currently doing? You need to change the status doing. That means started is coming. Okay, save it. And then after, done. Once your task you have completed, then specify the done. That means completed status is coming. Task has completed. So whenever if you have any questions, you can able to type it on here. I mean commenting. So your team lead or someone will try to answer these comments. So this is how we can get some tracking on your task here. Okay, forget about this. Work items, all those things will be created by your sprint manager. Who is a sprint manager? Daily, they are going to take status from you. I told you right, for every 2 weeks, one sprint. In a sprint, we have several tasks, nothing but work items. Your sprint manager, every day evening, there is a status call. They are going to take status from you. What are the things you have done today? What is the pending thing? Any blockings? Any blocking means if we are facing any issues, or sometimes we have dependency. If someone is doing that work, then only we can do that work. So these kind of problems they are going to understand every day in a status call. All right, perfect. Now coming to the Git repository. So we have to go to this Git repository. So simply goes to the repository. I'm going to create one repository project over here. Okay, just simply initialize. So I have created one Git repository. By default, it will create one branch, that is main branch. Okay. So when I'm going to work on this, so this Git repository project, I need to integrate into this data factory. So when you are going to create a data factory, actually simply click on create. You can go to the Git configuration, disable, see here, Azure DevOps. I'm going to configure here. What is your DevOps account, project name, repository name, branch name, for root folder, all those things you need to specify. So at the time of creating a data factory, you have to do here. If already you created a data factory, then how can you integrate? See under the manage, there is a Git configuration. Okay, there is a Git configuration. So here you need to configure. Simply click on configure, repository type, Azure DevOps Git repository, and Azure Active Directory. Click continue. What is your organization name? This is our organization. Project name, e-classes project. What is your repository name? Project name is nothing but this one. You created one project, right? E-classes open project. Under that, we have a repository created. With the same name, we have created one repository, right? What is your repository name? E-classes open project repository. Okay. And then after collaboration branch, I'm going to use currently main branch because all will be collaborated into main branch. And then after import resources to this branch. So if you are creating any child branches, those will come over here. Okay, let me create after a child branch because today you are going to work, right, to develop something. So what is the branch you need? Please set up. Please set the working branch. Previously used working branch is not available. Okay, create a new branch. Okay, I'm going to create. For example, today I have given a task number 1083. Okay, I'm creating one branch to do this task. Save it. Click apply. Done. Integration completed. Now we can go to other. See here. Earlier we have only earlier our system is looks like this. But now you got this Azure DevOps Git repository. Select that. Under this, in which branch you want to work? Task 1083. So you need to select it here. So whatever you are developing, going to develop over here, simply I'm going to develop a new pipeline. Pipeline 123. Simply I will take wait activity. Okay. And then save all. When you are clicking on save all these things will be saved in the task 1083 branch. Let me show you. Let me just try to refresh. See here in the main branch, whatever the data factory things you have, all are coming here. Let me go to the another branch, task 1083 branch. There also you have all those things. But go to the pipelines. Only pipeline to event dot JSON we have, right? So whatever you are developing here, Everything in the backend will save like a JSON format. If you want to see that code of the JSON, see here there is a code over here. Click on this. See, in this format it will save. This is a JSON code actually. Okay, and so I haven't clicked on save all. That is the reason pipeline 123 is not reflecting in this branch. Only pipeline 2 event JSON is there. Let me save it. So once you are clicking on save, where it is coming, let me try to refresh it. See, pipeline 123.json is coming. So whatever you have developed, pipeline 123, pipeline 2 event, two pipelines you have in your branch, correct? What is your branch? Task 1083. But in the main branch, you can see we have only one because that is old code. Now what you need to do, whatever you have developed in the task 1083, that content you need to merge into the main branch. You understand? So task 1083 branch. Similarly, other developers also working on their own branches. From all these branches, we need to merge the code into main branch. That is the main central repository. Okay. So before you are going to merge, your team lead needs to review your code. If you are directly merging into that, so how can we review whether you have done is correct or not? So if you they don't give you a choice or option to permissions to merge the code. Only your team lead can do that one. To do that one, how can you tell and how can you send this information to your team lead? Hey, I have developed, I have done my task. Can you please review? And if it is good, merge. If not, then he will put a comments over there. You have to do something like this. Then again you will do the modification. Again you will create a pull request. So you need to create one pull request. What exactly the pull request to? The code, whatever you have in this feature branch. We are calling these branches as the feature branches into main branch. So to do that one, create a pull request. Click on create pull request. What is the title name? Review task 1023 and describe the about the task what you have done and work item link means to understand about this task there is a in the boards there is a work item is there, right? That link you can provide here. That link will come over here once you are typing that the work item id, then it is easy to understand this team lead. Okay, this task is related to which one, he will goes to that work item, he will see the description of the task and everything, then he can understand okay this is the task something. To whom you want to assign this one, your team lead email address you need to specify. Okay, then click on create. So you created a pull request. This will goes to your manager. So manager is going to approve. Done. Then he will review. While he is reviewing, if something is finding a bug, then he will comment. Hey, please change the double quotes. He will comment it. So you need to check these comments, what he has done, what change, what the comments he has done. If everything goes good, then he is going to complete the matching. So when he is going to merge this code, whatever the feature branch already you created, right? Or you want to delete that once the code is merged over there, then you need to select this one. If you want to keep that branch also, then you can unselect. If you are selecting this one, complete merge, the code will be merged into your the main branch. The code will goes to main branch. See, pipeline 1 to 3 is coming now. Do you have that task 1023? Task 103 is not there, the feature branch, because the code has merged into main branch. Then the old branch has deleted. You can see it here. See, the child branch is not there. Only the main branch is there. Under that, you have a latest code, pipeline 1, 2, 3. So this is how, whenever you are developing anything, you need to create a child branch, nothing but a feature branch, and you need to create a pull request. Your team lead will review and merge the code into the main branch. Okay, we can able to see the history over here. What are the things happen? So we have added pipeline 1, 2, 3 and task review. So all the things you can able to understand over here. What are the pushes happening? One pull request is sending over here. What are the branches we have? Currently we have only main branch. Child branch we have deleted, right? How many pull request we have? There is no currently open pull request. All are fetched and completed. So this is how we can understand the how the project code has developed and all those things. If any kind of test cases, like if they want to test something, so they are going to make the test cases over test plans. Like you need to uh, do the whatever the test you have done, right? They will create a test plans as well here. Like whatever the project you are creating, task you are creating, they will create some test cases. You are currently logged in as user basic access level and you are seeing the page as you don't have a test plans and test suits. Okay, because testing also is one of the criteria. So how many test cases? For example, you developed a pipeline, you need to test it, right? What are all the things you need to test it? You need to write down a test cases. So what are all the test cases you have? How many are success, in progress, or failed? All those things report can be seeing over here. Okay, right. So once the project development completed, the next part will be happen from DevOps, Azure DevOps. Azure DevOps team, they are doing? They are creating the backlogs. Means they are giving a task and you need to complete in 2 weeks. Sometimes it may not be possible. That we are calling as a backlog. What are all the items are work items are pending backlog? How many sprints total we have? Sprint plan, all those things you can track it over here. And whatever the code they have developed, everything they can able to see under this repository. The DevOps team is taking care of these activities. Okay, right. So now we have saved our code into the branch. I mean, into this Git repository. Okay, we have saved this code into the Git repository. Now what I'm going to do, we need to deploy this into different environments. This is test environment. This is production environment. So whatever the content we have here, that I want to deploy into test environment through Git repository also, because we are saving this in the Git. So from the Git, you can able to deploy into here. There is other manual process also there. Without using Git repository, whatever the content I have here, right, that I am going to save like a that I am going to save export like a ARM templates. What do you mean by ARM? ARM stands for Azure Resource Manage Templates. So how can we export all your content like a ARM templates? Simply go over here. Mm, Data Factory, manage, ARM templates, export. I told you, right? All your pipelines, what you are developing here, in the backend, the code will form like a JSON format. Okay, export. See, it has exported like a ARM template to .zip file. So let me go inside. Let me extract this one. Extract here. Okay. See, there is a JSON code has created. Clear? Right. Now what I'm going to do, so I'm going to create a new data factory. Okay. The earlier one is development. Let me create one more. Free trial. This is project 2. E classes ADF test environment version 2. Click on create. Okay. Let me go inside, launch this. Skip for now. Go to the manage, ARM templates, import. Okay. Click on import on Azure portal. Build your own template in the editor. Load the file. Which file you downloaded, extracted? There is a ARM template for factory. Okay. Save it. So where you are going to deploy this one? I'm going to deploy to this resource group. Data factory name is E classes. Create deployment failed. Okay, no worries. So what I will do, so till now we just do the configuration. Next session I will make it completely deployment process from one environment to another environment. Two methods. One, what we are doing by downloading, I mean importing, exporting the ARM template. The second one is inside this automatic process, CI/CD deployment process, by creating some pipelines. Pipeline means deploying this code into another environment. Release pipelines, CI/CD methodology, continuous integration, continuous delivery. Okay.